Hey everyone, this is the second part of last week's episode. If you didn't hear it, hit pause, go back a week to catch up.
But it works.
Yeah.
It makes everything clean. I don't smell it. And I am that crazy person too. When it came out of the washer, I had my face in it a second time. Like, does it still smell? Before I put it in the water, before I put it in the dryer.
Yes, because there's nothing worse than opening the dryer. And it's
Yes,
like,
and you can
whoa,
smell it and you're
yeah.
like, ooh, gross. And, but then also with the hot water, you have to make sure that you shut the laundry room door because it will smell again.
I used, with my mom, I used Thieves.
Oh, yeah.
essential oils
Yes.
And purification.
Okay.
I would put those in with, our detergent.
Okay.
And softener and all.
Yeah.
That's something that's very important.
Well, and it's hard because once you are sensitive to that smell, you smell it when you go places, you smell it.
Hi everyone, I'm Lexie Callies. Do you feel the squeeze of caring for an elderly loved one and school-aged children? Then welcome to the Sandwich Stories. Let's dig in.
It is amazing the power grandchildren have on their loved one. It's totally different. I just had photos come up in my photo history, and it was of my dad, and my dad really wasn't speaking anymore. But you can see the looks on his face in photos just with my son snuggling up with him, and it says it all.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing what it's the best medicine, I think. And so I always tell people is like, if you have young ones, even if you have a best friend who has a little one, don't let children, I think people are afraid of exposing their children to what as adults think is a negative time. Kids don't think of it that way. They think of it, they will make of it what you make of it.
Right.
And they can sometimes change the day. Like if you're having a tough day with your loved one, sometimes they're the ones that turn the day around. Because it's just, especially with dementia, it is 1 minute is one thing, the next minute is something totally different.
Right.
And it could just be your kid. It could be your grandchild.
Like she would need physical therapy, right? And we had orders from physical therapy to toss the ball back and forth with her. Well, she didn't want to do it with me.
No.
But she'll do it with the grandkids.
Yes.
So
well, and for you, I mean, she got to have grandchildren and great grandchildren around. So that's great. So for her, her adult grandchild is still there, and it's a different relationship than it was with you. Right. And then of course with the little ones around, that's a whole nother.
One time I went to work where she was in her last 9 months. And she's like, she told me, she says, "You look like my daughter." Well, we're all wearing masks, right?
Oh yeah.
And so I said, "Well, maybe it's because I am your daughter." And so I pulled down the mask, and she goes, like, "Yeah, right." I said, "No, really, I am your daughter." So another opportunity happened, and same thing, pulled my face, the mask down, and she goes, and then she recognized me.
Yes.
And so she wanted a hug.
Yeah.
So I was able to give her a hug.
Yeah.
But I think one of the biggest things that broke my heart when I was there with her, one day I was talking to her about the grandkids.
Right.
And she got so excited. "Oh, are they coming today?"
Oh.
And I was like, I had to explain to her because of COVID. No, they can't come in, Mom, but we're going to arrange for you to be able to see them. So we would do the window thing.
Oh, yeah.
And, or sit outside and be 6-8 feet apart, But I am, COVID was a very difficult time for all of us, but we learned a lot through it that I hope we never repeat again.
I hope so too. I really feel for seniors and for children who also are institutionalized. That was a tough one too.
Oh, yeah. They think they've been abandoned.
Yes, they think they've been abandoned. We did the window thing one time, and shortly before my dad passed, and that was hard because it's not easy to always see through the window, depending on if they have tinting on it or things like that. And it was so hot. I remember it was June and it was probably 100. It was just so hot because they said, hey, come at 1:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm like, so you want my mom and I to sit outside? She already has health problems, and now we're going to sit outside in 100-degree weather. But we did get a smile out of my dad. Like you said, you got that smile out of your mom. And it was one of those last moments where he realized who we were. And that was a special time. So sorry, I am the weepy one on the show. We all know it. Everybody knows I'm the weepy one. I'm the crier, but that's okay. I'm the crier of my family too. I have 3 cousins. I don't have siblings. I have 3 cousins. I am definitely the crier of the 3.
We're proudly.
I was like, okay, well, at least you know where I sit when it comes to my emotions. But I think there's a lot to be learned. And I feel that you were so lucky to have, be able to have your mother move in with you. Like I said, when you and I were speaking earlier, and I've said this to, the audience, that my mother and I, after about 2 weeks, we are like loggerheads. We just come at it. My son and I are the same way. So it's just the same thing. So I know personally that for me, it would not be a fit, but I am always, in awe of those where it can be a fit to live with your loved one, that, you had that ability to have your mom be with you, and for that amount of time to be with your son and her great granddaughter at the same time. That's super special.
No, I know we were lucky that way. And my kids, they all understood. They all were concerned for me, and probably rightly so.
Right.
When I first, I'm a registered nurse, so I was like, I got this. This is no big deal.
Yeah.
But guess what? Pediatrics and geriatrics, while they're similar.
Yeah, pediatric is
it's a little different.
Yeah.
So our learning the whole geriatric stuff was a new thing for me. So while I thought it was going to be a piece of cake for these 9.5 years, it was difficult. Not so much hard up in the front part, except that we're dealing with her still wanting her independence and her own decision making and all that. But towards the end, she couldn't do all those things, and physically she couldn't do things, and hand feeding it, all the things. So it's just a difficult time, and what you think you might be well equipped for, you may not be.
Right. And did you ever get the sense from your children, they, like you said, they were worried for you? Did you ever feel that maybe they felt that almost sandwiched feeling? Not that they had to care for you, but that they're concerned for you and the stress that can come along with caring for your mother. And it was almost, the trickle down of almost being sandwiched for themselves, having littles, and then the concern for you at the same time.
Yeah. No, they were very, very concerned because, further in the journey, you're lacking sleep.
Yeah.
You're up at all hours. You're in the hospital a lot with them. You're, having to meet every need, our body's need.
Yes.
And so they were just concerned that I was getting too tired and wiped out. And they were probably right, because I did it, because I'm stubborn, and I would do it until I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I hear that too. I hear from the nurses at my mom's facility, or from me, we got it, don't worry about it. And, it's even things like if my mom's having a tough day, and so we have to use her wheelchair that day, getting out of the double doors. So I have to put the code in, get her out the door, and then someone comes along and they're like, do you want me to help? And most of the time my answer is, no, I've got it.
Yeah.
But the person is there to help, that could open the door for me, but I'm trying to finagle all of it.
Yeah.
Or, or to have her in the wheelchair and getting out the door, and I have like her walker or rollator with me too, and I'm trying to get that out the door all at the same time.
Yeah.
People are like, Do you want help? No, I'm fine. It's fine.
Don't let me bother you.
Yeah, don't let me bother you. You're fine. You have other things to do. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, take it. Take it.
Every little offer you get. You know, people want to come sit with them. They want to bring a meal. They want to, hey, can I pick up her laundry and do it for you this week? Yes, I would love that. Thank you so much.
Oh, before my mom moved into her current resident, I did all of her laundry. And man, if someone else said they wanted to do her laundry, I would have said yes.
Yeah, totally. Anytime. Cook for me, do my laundry, I'm all on it.
I luckily have a husband who is very good at cooking and he likes to do it. So that that was not a problem. But yeah, the laundry. I joke that my tombstone is going to be a front load washing machine. Like that's going to be what my tombstone will look like. It's just going to be laundry. Like that's all I was going to say.
You know, and then when, you know, there's incontinence and clothing's involved, sheets are involved. Yeah. You know, it's constant.
It's an everyday occurrence, and the concoctions you make within the laundry to make sure things don't smell.
Yes.
Residual smells. Yes. You know, I have become a queen at all of these things because sadly, with my mom's disease, incontinence is part of the thing we battle with, and it's been going, and it's one of the first things to start to atrophy within your system. And I think that's, you know, that's tough. Yeah. It is really hard.
Yeah. And those of us who are a little OCD about, you know, things smelling nicely.
You know what? I got a sniffer that can smell it from a mile away, and I can smell, even if it's been washed, I'm like, nope, there. And so I will sometimes go to my mom's apartment now and I can smell something. And I know it's been cleaned. I know it's been washed. And I will strip the bed and I will take those sheets and I will take them home and do it myself and remake the bed with a different set of sheets. But I will do it myself.
What kind of concoction did you use?
Oh, so I use...
Let's get into details.
Yeah.
Here.
So I use a brand called Rock and Green, but it is designed for cloth diapers.
Okay.
So it's a powder. And I use Rock and Green, and then I also use old school Arm & Hammer baking soda with that's made for the washing machine. Comes in a big yellow box. It's maybe $3. It's cheap, but I do that, and everything is white. Always. I don't want to deal with colors because I want to make it as hot as possible. So the hottest water I can put it in. The Rock and Green because when you buy things that are made for cloth diapers, they're obviously made to get rid of smells and stains and things like that. So, and then I also had it's called BioClean, and it's an enzyme spray. And so if I just had something that I just could not get that smell out of, then I'd bring that one out and I'd spray it all down, let it sit, then wash it again with the cloth diaper wash and the baking and the Arm & Hammer suds. But it works. Yeah. It makes everything clean. I don't smell it. And I am that crazy person too. When it came out of the washer, I had my face in it a second time. Like, does it still smell before I put it in the water, before I put it in the dryer?
Yeah, because there's nothing worse than opening the dryer. And it's
and you can smell it and you're like, ooh, gross, you know. But then also with the hot water, you have to make sure that you shut the laundry room door because it will smell again.
I used with my mom. I used thieves.
Oh yeah, yes,
and purification.
Okay,
I would put those in with our detergent.
Okay,
and softener and all.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, that's very important.
Well, and it's hard because once you are sensitive to that smell, you smell it when you go places, you smell it. And it is very hard for me when I have to go to an appointment or a doctor's, for my own self or wherever. And there's someone who I know they smell. And it's sad when it's an elderly person that you're thinking, oh my God, but you can't say anything. No. You can't do anything, but I can smell it. And then it just breaks my heart that either someone can't smell it or they're just not getting the care,
Right.
sadly, that they deserve to have, because no one needs to go out in public. No one needs to be at home. No one needs to be out in public with to have that smell about them. That's just tough.
And when for them personally, if they're still living at home and they don't have caregivers and things like that,
and they're trying, or sadly, it's if you have when you still have an elderly couple and one of them is still caring for their spouse and they are trying their hardest. Yeah. And maybe it's the husband who's now the caretaker and he's never really had to do these kinds of things because maybe he, his wife was the one who took care of everything and now he has to step up and it's a whole new world for him.
It's a whole new learning thing.
It's a whole, everything. Like the laundry was probably not his domain. He probably never walked into the laundry room.
May not have been someone who cooks.
No. Yeah. So I think, there's a lot to be said.
And I think we see a lot of, my dad passed before my mom, but we're seeing more and more men living longer, and they are the ones who are becoming the caregivers to their wives.
Yes.
And like you said, it's difficult for them. So the whole world of caregiving is just difficult. It doesn't matter where you are. No. But definitely being a sandwiched, when you have children and you have your parents you're trying to love on and care for and do it all well.
Yes.
Without feeling like you've compromised one or the other.
Yes.
Is very difficult.
It is hard. It is something I talk about regularly. It is a guilt I battle personally on because I have such, and I think some of it is my own personality. It's also me being an only child, but it's wanting the absolute best, and my standards are high. And then I think there are times where I could say, you're putting too much, like the expectation is too high for yourself. Why are you doing this?
Right.
But then I'm just that person that says my mom deserves the best. She works so hard. I am going to give her the absolute best. Come hell or high water, and we're going to make it work.
Right.
And so I think that is hard when you have those expectations of yourself or your loved one.
Right.
But yeah,
I had the same self expectations. My, I told you my brother was a truck driver, but he came to me one time and he said, and this is, in mom's probably last 3 or 4 years of life. You act like more of a nurse to her than you do her daughter. Well, that put a dagger in my heart because I'm doing the best I can do.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
And he was right. At that point, I was more of a nurse. I was doing a lot of nursing care.
Yeah.
And so, it's real easy when you have siblings for someone to come in and tell you how to do it, but they're not there to help you.
Right.
So there is a benefit to some degree.
There is a benefit, but then there's not. There is, and then it's the other end of maybe there's not that person to put you in check to say you need to, not be so intense or not be,
take a deep breath.
Take a deep yeah. And, my husband is very supportive. He like yours, he is wonderful and amazing. And I don't ask him to do a lot for my mom. It's not his job.
Right.
But there have been times where I just have not been feeling well. And I've had to say, I need you to go, like, cause she'll call me. And there was one day I had a migraine and I was just in bed and she called me and I sent my husband and she was shocked to see she said, I thought Lexie was coming.
Oh.
And he said, nope, it's me.
It's me.
She's in bed. She needs to, she has a migraine. But then I had to ask him, it's like, you need to help her with whatever it is. But then also, could you get our laundry while you're there too? That was
bring it home.
Can you bring it home so I can do it? Yes. But yes, those are, and he's like, yeah, sure, I can do it, no problem.
Yeah.
But we are lucky to have supportive spouses. That I don't know what I would do if it was just me.
No, I and that's got to be extremely difficult because it does. it does take a village. It's
It
just like
does.
raising children. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it takes a village, and through end of life, care and all the things.
Right.
It's just it takes a team.
My mom's grandmother. My grandfather was a pilot, and so my grandmother was home. Obviously, she was a stay-at-home housewife, and but his mother had to move in with them, and so my grandmother did that, took care of her mother-in-law while her husband was having. So it was as if she were alone most of the time. Luckily, my mom said at the time she was in high school and starting college, and then her sister was also in high school. So she didn't have little ones, but still, that was to step up and take care. But then to be alone most of the time because your husband is traveling and gone all the time. I don't know how and from what my mother has told me, my great grandmother was not always the easiest woman. So it was. She was used to living on a farm, and and doing it her way.
Yeah, she knew how it had to be done.
Yes, but my mom's mom was a force to be reckoned with. It was definitely her house, and it was going to be her way. And eventually, my great grandmother broke to her will. She was like, "Okay, this is how it is. This is how Marion's going to do it." And then I came along, and she figured out how to use me as when I was visiting, how to get cookies and things like that out of my grandmother. I was she figured out she will give cookies to the baby. So if I want cookies, I just need to get the baby to tell Grammy she wants cookies.
Yeah.
And then, oh, you're giving cookies out. I'll take a cookie. Oh yeah, she used me as a pawn all the time. So she got it away.
Sandwiched in.
I was sandwiched. I was just
didn't even know.
I had no clue. But yeah, so it was yeah, that was it was. I just don't to do it by yourself. That's tough.
Yeah, I can't imagine. It would be very difficult, but
people do it, and we always. I always say you got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, put your big girl pants on,
absolutely,
and march forward. We all soldier on.
Yeah,
and that's what I tell people all the time. You just have to soldier on and put a smile on your face. Otherwise, if you're not laughing, you're crying.
And another thing too, those of us with kids, or even if they're adult kids, what are you modeling?
Right.
For your kids to learn from what you're doing and giving and sacrificing. That sometimes we have to do those things for the people we love. Exactly.
You have to. Yeah. You just have to say, you know what? No, I don't want to go to. It's Sunday afternoon. My mom's having a tough day. I have things I want to do, but mom's having a tough day. We're going to go see Grammy today. And and I take my son along, and sometimes he's 12, you get the, Mom, I don't want to. I'm like, no, you're going to go see your Grammy today. And this is what you do. Right. And we're going to go see her. You brighten her day,
We'll go for ice cream afterwards.
We'll go
be a shining star.
You go do that. And sometimes, in all honesty, I use him sometimes as a buffer because I might be in a mood or I'm just not feeling it myself, but I have to go over there anyway. But I can use him to come along, and he can sit and talk to my mom, and they can chit chat, and she will have a great time. And I can get things done that need to be done in her room and talk to the nurse or whatever it is. And then we've been there an hour, and then we can go. But they've had their time, and because I know I'm going to see her another 5 times that week,
right? And
I just need that buffer for him to come along too.
Yeah.
And
that's okay.
That's
I think they learn through that. So that's a positive thing.
Yeah. So he tells her about his week and his day, and she asks about scouts and all the swim team and all those kinds of things. So it is good to be able to do that. Yeah. So I really do appreciate you coming on and talking about caring for your mom and all the things that you've done. And COVID was tough. I'm sorry you had to go through that during that time too.
Yeah, it's actually what caused her to
Oh,
was
goodness.
COVID.
I'm so sorry for that. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah. Mizzie's going to bring us the song of the week. So, like I said, I asked for a song of the week, whether it is gets you through it, lifts your spirits, just makes you happy, whatever it is. If you would just share with everybody your song, who sings it, and maybe a little bit of why you picked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I actually printed out the lyrics to the song.
Okay.
This song came out in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about 1920.
Okay.
Was about the time that things were getting tougher and
Yeah.
tougher. And so there were lots of days where, very almost depressed and sad and just because you're losing who your mom is.
Exactly.
And you are realizing what's coming.
Yes.
And so it's just a time of grief and loss, actually.
Yeah.
So my song that got me through probably those hardest days is it's called You Say. It's by a Christian artist. Her name's Lauren Daigle.
Okay.
Actually just went and saw her Christmas concert.
Oh, how wonderful.
It was wonderful. But can I read the lyrics?
Yeah.
Okay. So it says, I keep fighting voices in my head that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. And then it says, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe. Oh, I believe what you say to me, I believe. The only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you, I find my worth. In you, I find my identity. You say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, you say I am yours. And I believe what you say to me, I believe. Taking all I have and now laying it at your feet, you have every failure, God, and you have every victory. You say I am loved, and when I can't feel a thing, you say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, you say I am yours. And I believe. Like I said, during caregiving, there's going to be lots of ups and downs, but towards latter stages, it can be a lot of downs. Yes. I needed the reassurance during those times when I was feeling like this is too much. It's more than I can handle. And I am a Christian, so those words for me, built me up. Right. So I would ask y'all go listen to the song because it's beautiful and it is definitely gave me strength during my time.
Oh, thank you for that. I love that one. I hadn't heard that song, but those words really touched me too. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We really appreciate it.
All
right. Well, thanks everybody. I hope you learned something and go check out that song because it really did touch me. Maybe it'll help you get through something. Okay. All right. Bye guys. Love you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to Sandwich Stories. I really hope you learned some new things and enjoyed it. If you did, tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your sister, tell your dad, tell everybody you know to also listen. Maybe they'll learn some new things, how to help each other out, and find us at Sandwich Stories Podcast. Thanks so much.